The Golden State Warriors are in an interesting position regarding Patrick McCaw. The Cleveland Cavaliers have offered the restricted free agent a 2-year, $6 million offer sheet. That means the Warriors have to decide if they'll match said offer, because Golden State is in the luxury tax. By matching McCaw's offer, Golden State's tax bill would increase from $50 million to $61.6 million. Is that too rich of a deal for the Warriors to make to match that?
Well, first of all, if you watch them tonight in this game, they've got 3 points in the first half off the bench. So one would argue they really need Patrick McCaw. But this is really a great stroke by Cleveland. Their cap and strategy department, Brock Aller, Jason Hillman, they're looking for a win on the margins here. They signed him to a very favorable deal. It's actually a non-guaranteed offer sheet, which enables them to effectively get a free 10-day look at Patrick. If they choose not to keep him, Patrick only makes the $180,000 during that span that he would have made. And then if they waive him, he's totally unrestricted and free. So what this really does is it builds goodwill with Bill Duffy. It builds goodwill with the player. If it doesn't work now, maybe it works in the future. And Golden State is left to make an $11 million decision relative to their bench. And I know they're trying to save their 15th roster spot potentially for another big, because you don't know how the DeMarcus Cousins situation works out. But again, when you watch this game tonight, Andre Iguodala gets ejected in the first half. As it was, they only had 3 points off the bench. They're not a team overladen with depth right now. And I think losing Patrick McCaw over this amount of money is a significant loss for them.
Yeah, this team definitely isn't that deep, and they could definitely use that depth. A young player, especially when you're talking about playing down the rest of the stretch of the regular season, talking about even getting into the postseason. Sometimes, Griff, it's about a game here or there, and can a young player help you? I think McCaw can do that. So Golden State really has to think hard about matching that offer sheet.
And they have until midnight on Sunday to make that decision, so it's going to have to come quick. Possibly McCaw's next team in action against the Atlanta Hawks. And John Collins, we missed you early in the season. And boy, he's been back playing with a vengeance.
Oh, that's how you finish right there. Up, up, and away.
I still need him in the dunk contest, B-Wood.
I'd love to see it.
Second-year player, so exciting. Trae Young.
Ice traded game.
Likes to pull up from way beyond the three-point arc. Trae Young continuing in the second half.
That's nice.
Uncontested.
Right there. That's what I like seeing. I like seeing him drive to the basket because he opens up so much for himself and his teammates.
And when we see Trae Young, we know we have to go to the vintage one. Vince Carter has to make the highlight.
Oh, still doing it.
And by dunk contest, I mean
UNC legend.
It's a close game into the fourth quarter. There's Colin Sexton keeping it a 2-point game. And then John Collins, the energy, moving without the basketball, and then finishing around the basket. And Jetty Osman, hello.
Oh, I know he had. Griffith, you know he could do that?
I knew he had that in him, but you don't see it very often in games.
The Jetty dunk trick. Kevin Huerter trying to get the tough basket to go with a tied game, but again, it's John Collins working inside. Jordan Clarkson looking to tie it up.
Jordan.
Not the one you're thinking of, Brendan.
Well, that's not the Michael Jordan?
Nope, that is Jordan Clarkson.
More like Michael B.
This just in, the Cavs have opportunity, by the way, for Patrick McCaw. They've got a chance for him to play a little bit.
Yeah, they got a little bit of run.
Atlanta gets the win. John Wall announced that he'll have surgery on his heel and will miss the remainder of the season, so he's out. Kemba Walker dancing before the game and during as well.
Man, Kemba out here in the passing lane. Good defense, transitioning to a great offense, and he had himself a night. He was absolutely sensational.
How about Thomas Bryant? He's been sensational. 21 points, 10 rebounds. The big man you like to see succeed. And speaking of Kemba dancing, what?
Wow. How does
the
he
three
how does he
and the free.
How does he hit this shot, though? Man, that takes incredible concentration.
That's in the fourth quarter. Kemba Walker, 24 points in the final quarter.
No, for the game, you mean? For the game, 24.
No.
He couldn't have had that in one quarter.
Oh, yeah.
47 in the game.
No, that's untrue.
It's true. Believe that.
I'm going to need to see that on this box score, right?
Well, you see Trevor Ariza contributing. More of that in a second. Here's more Kemba Walker in the fourth quarter, Griff, in case you were wondering.
His 24th point right there.
Makes it a 1-point game. Now check this out. Trevor Ariza leaking out, gets the layup, and they have to review this one. It ended up counting and the foul. Ariza. Is this enough proof for you right there? 47 points.
Y'all understand
shots.
that the man who beat everyone down court to try to catch up with that play threw himself into the stands trying to compete to win this game is the same dude that had 47 points.
Yep.
Kemba Walker is all about the right things, guys. That's incredible, the level of effort he
Better
put in.
re-sign him, Hornets.
So is Bradley Beal talking about John Wall.
You know, it's I can't sit here and wish everybody can play. You know, everybody has it's the same Otto. Otto hasn't played in we don't know how many games, but we need him to be healthy, and that's the main objective for everybody, and the most important thing for everybody is taking care of yourself, making sure that you're healthy. So whatever it may be, no matter who it is, you know, take care of yourself first, and you know, it's next man up. You know, that's why we have 15 guys on the team, you know, for situations like this, and you know, for guys to be able to step in and be ready to go.
So looking forward to John Wall in the next couple of years. He gets a bit of a salary bump starting that Supermax contract the start of next season. It has a player option in 2022 and 2023.
I think he opted into that.
$170 million offered to him. Coming up next on Game Time, Jimmy G sits down with KG on Area 21. As you just saw, the Washington Wizards beat the Charlotte Hornets without the services of John Wall. He is out the rest of the season. The Wizards announced that during the game. He'll have left heel surgery, expected to miss 6 to 8 months. Wall averaging 21 points, 9 assists a game, just under those numbers actually. Played 32 games this season after playing just 41 games last season. Chris Miles, David Griffin, Brendan Hayward here with you. Griff, if you're the Wizards, and now you're looking forward, you have yourself a situation considering Wall's season has been cut short the last 2 years in a row.
Well, I mean, in the NBA, and Brendan, you know this very well, adversity is a given. It's an absolute lock. You will face it. And the decisions you make and the way you choose to deal with it is optional. And what I think you saw Washington do tonight is rise up in the face of great adversity and let this injury spate that they've had. Several players, you heard them talk about it earlier, John Wall, Markieff Morris, Dwight Howard, Otto Porter, all out. And they still decided that they cared enough to rise up and compete. And that's what you have to do. And there's a very decent likelihood that this injury to John Wall galvanizes this group, and we'll see the best basketball they've played if they can get a healthy Otto Porter and a healthy Markieff Morris. And I think that's what they're counting on right now.
I'm looking at this team, looking at the stats.
Oh, boy.
Color him skeptical is what this means.
No. 35 assists tonight. 35 assists.
Are we getting back to the everybody eats thing? Is that where you're going with this, Brendan?
I didn't say that. somewhere out there, maybe in L.A., maybe Marcin Gortat wants to tweet that tonight. I didn't say that. I see 35 assists. 9 from Ariza, 7 from Green, 3 from Bryant, 5 from Beal. 24 points for Ariza, 13 for Green, 21 for Bryant, 19 for Beal, 20 for Satoransky. You're seeing the ball move around and not just be in one guy's hands. And I'm not saying that this team is better without John Wall. I don't believe that. But I've always believed that John could learn something when he was out from watching how the team moves the ball when he's not there. And I think this team is going, like you said, is going to use this as a rallying cry, a rallying point that, hey, we can do this. And right now there's no pressure. See, when John's there, there's the pressure of we have to win, we have to win.
And they're not enjoying the process of playing together.
If this team comes back and makes a playoff run in the Eastern Conference, and the bottom of the East can be had, like you can go on you don't have to be a great team to sneak into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. It would not surprise me at all if this Washington Wizards team put it together, especially as they got healthier and they start getting some more bodies. I'm going to be very interested to see how this turns out.
And you said put it together, though. We need a stamp on that. Put it together and
make the playoffs. I'm not expecting anything more than that. I think when you look at the way the season started, the turmoil with injury, if this team makes it to the playoffs, that would be somewhat of a mini success. Now, you still have some questions about the future, and especially if the team makes it to the playoffs after being 10 games under 500, the Wizards really it's a blessing and a curse because now management is like, okay, so this team is really playing well without John. What do we do? And no one is taking that contract, especially coming off an injury.
Well, it's fascinating because their margin for error is much less now. And with all of these injuries, I said before, I think it could get worse before it gets better. Tonight's a big win. You're not always going to rally quite like that down that many bodies. But Thomas Bryant tonight, you mentioned the 35 assists. I don't know the actual number of screen assists Thomas Bryant had, but Thomas Bryant is playing the role Marcin Gortat played, which was to be an elite screener, to be physical and to be a presence. They're going to be able to get the best of these guys because emotionally now they're in a different place. You said it, there's no pressure. They no longer have to have that feel of, gosh, this doesn't quite feel right. This is heavy. This gives you spiritual rebirth, and in the Eastern Conference, you've got the room for that.
And there are guys that aren't in the starting lineup right now that are getting the opportunity to play. Let's talk about their first-round draft pick, Troy Brown, who spent time in the G League, who hasn't been able to crack significant minutes in the NBA. He gets 18 minutes, scores 9 points, and really contributes. This allows the opportunity for guys like that to get in and play.
Yeah, and frankly, in the previous game, Troy Brown not playing any minutes at all was staggering. The way that they were playing the rotations with Decker and Randall and Baker and not giving Troy Brown an opportunity was shocking in and of itself. But now this really does put an onus on the organization that if they're going to be in this situation, it's all hands on deck. And in a worst case scenario, let's develop Troy and see what we have at the end. And also, to your point about the deal not being movable, the one thing you know for sure, if Otto Porter comes back healthy, he's much closer to earning the money he gets paid currently when he gets to be ball dominant and make plays for other people. So you may find hidden value here because of this injury.
I totally agree. Otto Porter really has a chance to shine when he comes back. We saw last year he was a little bit better when John wasn't there just because he got the ball. He got a chance to do some more things. And the more you touch the ball, the more shot attempts you get, the more confidence you get. And some guys are better when they have that confidence. Some guys, they can just check in the game and chuck up a couple of threes and feel fine. A lot of players aren't like that. They're rhythm guys. Otto needs to get into a rhythm. Without John, it seems like he gets into that.
Were you a rhythm guy, Chris? Were you a chuck it up?
When you in Harlem, what type of basketball player were you? When you on the streets of Harlem, son?
No, let's be real.
Your son.
Okay, I was not very good. I could handle and I could pass. So what I did to make teams, I would become friends with people like you, Brendan.
Okay.
I'm just going to find a big fella, and he's going to score. And then when I would roll around, it's all the big fellas, and I'm the little guy.
Offset, I love his tales of basketball from his days in Harlem. The mean streets of Harlem.
Shout out to Kyle Cuffey. That was my big fella that I used to roll with. You know, he's not quite 7 feet like you, but
I think that
got
means
some
he was
buckets.
a heartless gunner. That's what I heard.
Possibly.